Welcome to the future, where artificial intelligence is no longer just a concept from science fiction movies. It's the driving force behind our daily lives, from the smart devices we rely on to the algorithms that shape our online experiences. In this thought-provoking episode, we dive deeper into the world of AI, exploring its rapid advancements, contemplating its ethical implications, and envisioning its potential impacts on our future. So grab a drink and get ready to unravel the intricacies of AI. This is one you don't want to miss. The podcast that I did, that was the hook that I wrote for the podcast. It aired on the self-hosted podcast called Beatdown with Cher, which is a curated podcast for the curious mind. Going over technological advancements and, phenomena and the unexplained and things that are just intriguing to the brain and that tickle the brain. And it was really fun. It was really interesting. I got to host this podcast with a longtime friend and colleague of mine named Andrea, who does some podcasting herself, is what would I call her? A hospitality and networking extraordinaire, I think is what I said in the podcast. But I've known her for a million years, and she's lovely. And I got to host it alongside one of her friend and colleagues, John, who I had not met before, but has recently become one of my most favorite and helpful people. Andrea called herself through our podcast the naturalist and the purist, and so she claimed what was it? She just claimed, ignorance is bliss, essentially, and she didn't know a ton about AI going into it. So I was able to teach her a lot. John, my other co-host, did know a little bit more about AI, but it was interesting, kind of where we all stood, because we're in different seasons of our lives and we have different careers, and the way that we use AI, and particularly the way that we view AI, was all very different. And so in the beginning, we talked about advancements in AI. So things such as breakthroughs in deep learning, neural networks, speech recognition, image processing, natural language understanding, and how all of those things just revolutionize the way that we live and the way that we work and the way that we interact with technology overall. Autonomous vehicles, virtual assistants, facial recognition, all of the things that we run into in our society and everyday life, and how those things affect us and help us, and what the risks surrounding those things are. Beyond that, we dove into the ethics of AI. So, the need to address the ethical implications of AI, issues such as data privacy, algorithmic bias, and transparency, and then talking about how society needs to strive to ensure that AI technologies are not only developed but deployed in a responsible and ethical manner, safeguarding things like privacy and fairness and accountability. And it was interesting. We talked about, is that should AI, which we can all agree needs to be regulated, should AI be self-regulated? Should it be state-regulated? Should it be federally regulated? And who gets to decide those things? Moving beyond ethics in AI, we talked about the future of AI. So we all got a little bit creative and said, what is the craziest thing you can think of? Like, what are you expecting from AI in the future? What do you think it's going to lead to? Do you think it's going to take human jobs? What kind of industries do you think that it's going to impact the most, and why? And again, we all had, very different viewpoints and experiences with AI. And I remember Andrea flying autonomous vehicles. John, my other co-host, thinks we're going to see something like the Matrix sooner than later. And then myself, for, like I said, in our original podcast, I am a mother, I'm a grad student, I'm a business owner times two. And, and I'm also just a person. person. And so the ways in which I expect to experience AI, I'm going to have a different answer for all of those things. But overall, I hope that, it makes my jobs easier. I hope that it continues to help me personally. I hope that it helps my children be better students. And the overall idea is that, AI is at the forefront of our society because it makes us faster and more productive and more effective, which in turn, due to society's standards and pace, makes us essentially, in society's eyes, better people. And so I hope that in the end that AI helps us to be a better people overall. I'm particularly hopeful and excited to see how AI affects the lives of my children in a positive way, and even their children and theirs. So anyways, it was AI, technology, ethics, and advancements on the Beatdown with Cher, hosted by myself, Andrea, and John. So I do hope you'll take an opportunity to listen.